If you could see the state of array my room currently is in, it's quite bad. Hello, my name is Montero, and thank you for joining me on my journey to watch everything ever. Today, we're gonna do something a little different. This past week, Disney heard the calls, the beck and calls of the millions of Zootopia fans and decided to give us exactly what we never asked for. For years, we have clamored, we have becked, and we have called, and Disney has finally heard every single one of us. The millions of Zootopia fans. At the time of this recording, Disney has released this past week on their streaming service, Disney Plus, a new series that is tied directly into the movie Zootopia, titled Zootopia Plus. I love how the name of the series is a parody of its own thing that is meant for it to go on, while simultaneously telling you exactly what the show is going to be. Zootopia plus little tiny behind-the-scenes adventures that you never knew happened while you were falling in love watching Judy and Nick ultimately fall in love. We really do need a Zootopia 2, Disney, come on. Needless to say, we have 6 shorts, 6 minutes each. Do not be afraid of the time code. The credits are basically 4 minutes long each, so the episodes are like 5 to 6 minutes. Nice bite size. These shorts bring you back to the story, to the world of Zootopia that you know and love. As aforementioned, Zootopia Plus shows you 6 new stories that happened simultaneously to the events of the original narrative. And they even show you how it even ties into that narrative. Overall, Zootopia Plus is a fun ordeal that I used as a calm down at the end of my day. I binged all of it right before bed, as I usually do. I will watch a sitcom or something light and happy before bed. Do you judge my acknowledged horrible sleeping habits? What about you and your chocolate bar, huh? Yeah, instead of doing yet another review that is just gonna get lost amongst the cosmos, I decided to do something a little bit different. I decided to rank all of these episodes for you, from worst to best, or is it from best to worst? From worst to best, in my opinion, and give you a nice little rating for it afterward as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and rank these, but warning, there are going to be spoilers for Zootopia Plus ahead. The worst short of the bunch, and truly honestly, all of these are pretty good. None of them are really bad except for this one. There are 2 standouts, but we're gonna get to those later on. However, this one truly gritted my teeth, and I'll explain why. In last place, we have episode 5. So you think you can prance. I'm not gonna lie, this title does remind me of Community Channel. She has a video titled King Sized, and where she's dressed up as a jester, and the gesture suggests, she says, to the king, why don't we have a panel of judges? You can bring all the court jesters in, and we can call it So You Think You Can Prance. And I think it's just super funny. So every time I see this title, I think of her. So thank you, Natalie Tran. You're truly amazing. However, the placement of this episode honestly surprised me. I honestly thought that the next one on the list would be the worst one, but after analyzing this one and analyzing it through and through, more than just once, I thought about this one a lot. I just ultimately decided just how immensely useless and pointless this episode actually is. Additionally, when you think about it, kind of how wrong it is. It's just not okay for storytelling, honestly. Especially at the end when you find out all of this was a dream. Don't waste my time this way. Do not force me to be invested in something and someone in a situation and then say, sorry, that was just a dream. That's rude. That's a cop-out in writing, and it's just plain stupid. There's really no reason for this short to exist. There's really no real lesson to be learned here or any new information other than Officer Clawhauser has really creepy fantasies about his coworkers that distract him from his work, and somehow Disney is encouraging this. Have fantasies all you want, man, but do your job. I don't think I can get down behind this. What would have fixed this short for B, and what I truly would have loved, is that if this weren't a dream, obviously, but if it was a real moment, because then that way Clawhauser is squealing because he realizes he had an effect on Chief Bogo instead of him squealing because he's realizing that he can get further in his fantasy than, his fantasy has allowed. I don't know. This one was ultimately super weird. I did not like it. For this reason alone, it's getting a 3 out of a 10. It's just pointless. I will never watch it again. In the number 5 spot, we have Hop On Board. This is another one, I swear, I had every intention to make this one the worst out of the bunch, but I mean, obviously not. I don't know. I guess this one gets like it's very mid. It's very mid. I believe this one would get a 5 out of 10. The whole time I was watching this, the only thought I had was, wow, this is entirely unnecessary. There's really no good reason for this short to exist, honestly. Yet it does. The biggest gripe I have, other than the fact that this short is entirely cliche and boring, is that it almost undercuts Judy's journey, as suddenly Judy is now not going to Zootopia all by herself. She had her parents inadvertently watching her, even though they were trying to get a baby bunny that was a stowaway on the train. I don't know, it just seemed like a very unnecessary choice to do to your characters. And honestly, it's been way too long since we've seen the parents, so it just seemed like there was a very big disconnect, because why do we care what's happening to the baby bunny? They reproduce so much. Honestly, what is one baby bunny lost amongst the rest? It's going to Zootopia, it's gonna be fine. I did not like this episode. I just thought it was completely boring. The jokes did not land. It wasn't bad, but it's not great. Granted, these shorts do exist as filler, mindless entertainment, so I will give it a 5 out of 10. That's where I'm landing on. A 5 out of 10 in the 5th spot. In the number 4 spot is Dinner Rush. I don't have much to say about this short other than this short provides us a reason as to why Flash was speeding so much at the end of Zootopia. And sure, it's a cute idea, but I don't think I appreciate being forced to watch 6 minutes of a gimmick that was barely watchable in a movie, because gimmicks are just that. They're gimmicks. They work maybe once or twice, maybe even 3 times, but when you just stretch it out, it just becomes so needlessly annoying. It's on the same vein of edited forced laugh tracks. When laugh tracks are natural, it feels great and people can tell. But if your show is The Big Bang Theory, then you're being told to laugh at every single thing, even though it's not really that funny. This kind of felt on the same vein of the gimmicks with Flash. For me, it just did not work. I did not really like this one. I like this one more than the other ones. Clearly this wasn't bad, but it's definitely not the greatest by any means whatsoever. So I give this a 6 out of 10. We are down to the top 3. In the number 3 spot, we have Duke the Musical. Surprisingly, I actually see this one be a lot of people's number 1. Honestly, this would be my number 1 if it weren't for one thing, and that one thing alone is that this entire episode is basically one giant repetitive music video. Can you see the trend of things I like and don't like? It's incredibly ironic because there is nothing new under the sun. However, it's the way you get to that nothing new under the sun that is the new under the sun. However, though this episode was super fun, it was super cute, it was super funny, it just felt very excessive for a 5.5, almost 6 minute music video. If you don't like musicals, honestly, you are going to hate this one. But I love musicals. I loved the Broadway style, the verbose, the wordiness to the singing that it had. It made it semi-talky because, again, they're sing-songing their feelings out. I did love the narrative, the concept, Duke turning over a new leaf and trying to collect money in a different way that is honest. Honestly, it's super fun. The song is a song that I honestly can get down to. It's just a little long for a song. It's just a little long, but it is not bad. I absolutely called the goat lady getting hit by a bus as soon as she turned around and stepped forward. As soon as that happened, I was like, really, Duke? Are you really gonna make her walk all that way? And then it hit me well before it hit her. I comfortably give this one, because of the song length, an 8.5 out of 10. In the number 2 spot is The Real Rodents of Rodentia. I love this one. It's a classic Real Housewives of, LA, Beverly Hills, Yellowstone, I don't know. It's a parody with its own twist and its own happy ending, though the ending didn't really end as happy as it did. Coniverse. So, still don't know how to react to that one, but it happened. Honestly, this was really nice and heartwarming. I really do love stuff of this caliber, even though I really don't watch any reality TV, so I have not really any frame of reference whatsoever. All I know is that this was really well written, and it was very cute. Frou-Frou and True-True's talk on the top of the landing, a helicopter landing, kind of reminded me of that one talk between Barley and Ian Lightfoot in Onward. Oh, you know, the one towards the end, the one that makes every grown man cry. The way they tied this episode into Zootopia was way better than any other one, because they literally just showed the events leading up to Frou-Frou almost getting squished by a giant donut. They added to the lore at nobody's expense. That's how it's done. I had to look this up because Frou-Frou does not sound the same, but evidently she is played by the same actress, Leah Latham. Sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. I don't know, I could be completely broken, but who knows. Either way, she didn't really sound the same, but she did a solid job with the character. The last thing I want to say is, oh squeak. I love being an adult watching PG content aimed at children, because I am then able to catch things like this that I would have never caught as a smaller child. By the way, Mandy, hilarious. Her trying to chew off her ankle bracelet and then her intro line, I just got out of prison. Top comedy. I don't know. It was so good. This episode gets an 8.5 out of 10. And now we are down to the last one, my favorite episode. The best episode, in my opinion, in Zootopia Plus. And that is The Godfather of the Bride. This episode was really well written because it was a basically backstory / speech given by the Godfather Mouse, Big Al, or Mr. Big. And we get to see basically his origin story and how he became the man he is, or the mouse he is, the rat that he is, and how he became friends with the polar bears, which was giving the baby polar bear an ice cream so he wouldn't be hot in the shade, because polar bears, they need to be cool, they need to be cold. Have you not seen the Coca-Cola polar bear commercial? Come on, they need that ice. This short was just really overall well written, and the jokes all landed here. From the very beginning, this episode had me hooked, and I didn't even realize that the episode was over until it was over. That's when you have really good pacing, because your attention is fully grabbed, that you are not thinking about anything else. For a 6-minute short, once again, praising the pacing. The praising is astounding for a 6-minute short. I honestly don't think I can say anything else about this other than that it was just super funny, it was super fun, and it's a super 9 out of 10. Well, that is it. What did you think? If you have seen Zootopia Plus, what is your ranking? Leave that in the description below. If you have seen Zootopia Plus, what did you think? And what is your ranking of the episodes? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to compare my list with yours and hear your reasonings why. Because that's the beauty about TV and movies, is that you can like what you like, but we can have a really good discussion as to why. It's just, why did something work for you? I want to know. Maybe once I know why it worked for you, it'll work for me again, and my list will change. That's just the beauty of having conversations, especially about things that you are passionate about and that you love. My social media links are also in the description below. Let me know what you thought about this. I am working on a Star Wars Visions ranking, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you next time. You've just been Montified.